Hey everyone, it's Jody here for FTRealM on Wednesday. It's the middle of the week, and I hope everyone's week has been going really well. Don't mind my treadmill and things like that in the background, or my cool clock that my brother got me a couple years ago. If you want, you can look at it. I'm doing this in my kitchen because I didn't get a chance to do this video earlier during the daytime, so I'm in my kitchen once again. And I apologize, but best lighting I got, so we're rolling with it. Anyway, this week's topic, we are talking about trans women awareness, appreciation, something to do with our trans sisters out there in the community. And I unfortunately haven't had a lot of contact with trans women that are out in my community. So, I do know a few trans women in my life, but I'm not super close to them. It was, we had a relationship, like a friend relationship, and then for a period of time, and then it was gone. So, but, some of the trans women in the community I live in, which is in Idaho, have been really active, in the community about getting equality across the board, and there was like a small group of them, about 5 to 6 of them, that were dedicated to this ordinance that was recently just passed last year, almost a year ago, in regards to getting protection underneath the law in the city I live in, for your gender identity, sexual orientation, kind of stuff. And they were the voice for the trans community. And I wasn't really involved. I did go, but I didn't get involved because I'm super busy with school, so I don't really have time to get involved in a lot of those types of things. But I had to appreciate what they were doing. They were putting themselves out there and saying, we're not a minority. We are part of this group, and we need to be protected. And I greatly appreciate what they have done within this community, because without them, the trans community probably maybe wouldn't have had a voice, or as big as a voice, because I do know a lot of my friends that are part of the spectrum were slightly involved in it as well, but they identify as like gay or lesbian or bisexual, and so I think that they would have spoken up for us, but probably not as much as the trans women activists in this community did. So I definitely appreciate them. Another trans woman that I appreciate is one that introduced me to a good friend of mine. They were dating at the time, and she was the first trans person I had ever met, and opened up my eyes to where I could go. Like, I could be, the man that I thought that I was eventually one day, and here I am today, post-T and post-op, and, living life and being good. So without her, I would never have been opened that door and shed that light on, like, that, my feelings, like, deep down inside, that they could be validated. And I could live, an identity that I felt comfortable with living and that I identified with most. So I have to appreciate her as much. We're not friends anymore, which is unfortunate, but, things happen. You move around, people move around, lose contact, and if you don't maintain that contact, then, it happens. But I think really that's it. I do appreciate all of the famous trans women out there that are advocating for, trans women rights, transgender rights as well, like Laverne Cox, that was just on the cover of Lifetime magazine. I appreciate all of her work. And one last thing that I want to say is I love being able, when I meet a trans woman in passing or something like that, we can silently acknowledge each other, or I can slightly acknowledge them and like what they've gone through, because I've gone through that just in the opposite way. And I can appreciate their journey as much as, if they are aware of my situation, they can appreciate my journey. And there's certain things that we can talk about together that we're not comfortable talking with maybe to other people, like especially in the beginning of talking about surgeries, types of surgeries, hormones, what hormones have done to my body, what hormones have done to their body, that they're not comfortable talking about outside of the trans community at the moment. And the more they talk about it and kind of formulate their ideas, then they are able to express those better to their friends and their family and maybe their partners and things like that. So I appreciate them just overall in general, and um, I'm glad that we're giving a shout out to our sisters. All right. Peace out, guys. That's all I got for you. Have a good rest of your week.